Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Yesterday, the People's Democratic Party held an emergency National Executive Committee meeting to review the Independent National Electoral Commission's postponement of the elections. At the meeting, which held a day after the ruling All Progressives Congress caucus meeting on the same issue, the party urged Nigerians to come out and vote and not to be deterred by the date change of the elections. They also made allegations on APC's planned rigging methods on Saturday. Here in the studio with us to speak on the 84th NEC meeting of the PDP is the spokesperson of the Presidential Campaign Council, Akin Osuntokun. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
So let's start off at talking about the NEC that was held, the NEC meeting that was held yesterday. We have some of the highlights. If you don't mind, let's take a quick look, then we'll come back to you.
It is clear that INEC did not, in fact, do a cleanup of the register of voters before it was published. We have evidence that over 1 million dead voters will vote in this election. Over 1 million. By this directive, ordering soldiers to kill our citizens with response to the law with impunity, the President has unwittingly given license to APC leaders to carry military personnel with them.
We have just discovered that the APC have hired many of their operatives and have taken them to China to be trained. And they have been so trained, and they are back. And they are equipped with devices that are meant to slow or fasten our card readers. So if you are in the south-south, southeast, and north central, you are likely to get your card readers to be slowed by those APC operatives.
Those are some serious allegations there. Let's start with the issue of the penalty for ballot snatching. Today's headlines carry quite a disturbing one, that ballot snatching death threats targeted at PDP. And this is a quote from the presidency. What are your comments on this?
Well, you know, that is typical APC. They just get themselves into a mud all the time. That is the presidential spokesman saying, confirming the death threat. Before he made that statement, they have been all over the PDP trying to say that that was not what the president intended, that he was being taken or quoted out of context. So now you have the spokesman of the president contradicting what those who are trying to correct what the president said, confirming that that indeed is what the president meant, that is a death threat. You know, so that justifies and vindicates those of us who have been accusing the president of incitement to murder. Now, the thing is that what is peculiar about the situation that we have with us there is that, you know, the definition of what the president said, whoever says that, that person is an outlaw. An outlaw is somebody who seeks resolution of, who gives his own law, you know, regardless of what the constitution or the law says. Wherever you have this law, in Nigeria, we are governed by constitutional democracy and the supremacy of the rule of law, so nobody is above the law. Whatever you want to say, crimes committed, whatever it is, you say it with reference to the law and the constitution. It's not you that you will say because you did it, otherwise you'll be living in the jungle. But let me say this, right? This president came to office in 2015. Right? And since then, they were the government overseeing the conduct of the election. So the question we should ask from him is that, was the election that brought him into office in 2015, was it riddled with ballot box snatching? Was it? Now, don't forget what the president, under whose that election was considered, did. He didn't wait for to hear all the results coming. He actually called to congratulate him. So, against which background is the president talking when you are talking about ballot boxes snatching? Is it so? You are saying that since you took over government, this has been the experience. So it's a self-indictment. And this is what people who speak in bad faith, this is what they get themselves into. Who has been the ones since you have been conducting elections since you came into office? And were those elections riddled with those kind of crimes of ballots? That is the question Nigerians should ask him. Right? Because it's under him, INEC, he was the one who appointed all the people in INEC, they have been doing whatever it is. So that is the question we should ask. Against what background, that what is it that prompted this? He's saying he was talking as if this is a trend, you know, that is coming to a climax or something. So look, when you don't talk in good faith, you have a ulterior agenda, you are going to be running into irrationality. Look, this is what is, listen. When the governor of Kaduna State made a statement about 2 weeks ago with regards to inciting, threatening the international community with murder and mayhem, this same president, the presidency, one of these spokespersons, I think it's Gabasho, said the president supported what the governor said. The president, maybe after they might have reflected over it, when he retired to Daura, said that they did not support it. So this is the kind of muddle and confusion and irrationality that we are faced with. You appropriate and reprobate in the same fashion. You first said the president supported whatever El-Rufai was saying. Then you came back some days later to say, no, we didn't support it. This is a typical thing that you are going to find out. It has led them into all sorts of primitive, somebody trying to define what ruthless means. Said yesterday that firmness is ruthless. That was what he meant. So I don't know what kind of dictionary that kind of person uses. I was reading somebody yesterday, I think it was director of communication, saying that what they meant was that with the people who snatch ballot boxes, they smash it on people's head. So whoever attempts to, so they have transferred the offense now, not only to ballot, from ballot boxing to murder, that it will be a response to the murderous intent of whoever now. So this is the traumatic, this is a trauma, needless trauma, a confusion, you know, that they are taking the country through. And, you know, it's a pity, as I said, you know, if it's like, you look, the one criticism of this government that has been so pervasive is the lopsidedness in the security agencies. Almost all those agencies are loaded with people, you know, of association was claiming that you don't trust people, it's only the people now. How can you have that? And you are still saying that maybe some people want to use it, that you will be complaining about that. You know, you will take an action, right? That people are complaining that, you know, it is too clannish, it is too personalized, and then you now come out wanting us to believe that that same organization is being somehow used by people.
Okay, APC has made their stance clear on ballot box snatching. What is PDP's stance on ballot box snatching and electoral malpractice?
Listen, we are not an outlaw, right? It is those who, all transgressions, all crimes, or whatever it is contained, the totality of whatever commission of crime, the penalty. And so PDP doesn't have its own definition of ballot searching or what will happen to ballot outside of what the Constitution says. We are not an outlaw. It's only an outlaw who will have his own peculiar or private definition of what constitutes ballot boxing and the corresponding punishment. It is contained in the Constitution, and that is what. So you see, so we have seen one party now that has become a party of outlaw. In fact, what they are saying is a crime. Incitement to murder is a crime.
Yes, Mr. Osuntokun, but the backdrop of all this is that the APC, like several grave allegations they've made against the PDP, has been that the PDP have never won any election in this Fourth Republic without rigging. And the plans of PDP are to rig these elections like they've been doing in time past. What do you have to say to this?
You know, that is another meaningless statement. They can say anything. They've shown, I mean, you know, quite tragically that what you shouldn't take whatever they say with, you should take it with a pinch of salt. You know, somebody who they get into a model all the time. How can you say that it's only the election that brought in the Fourth Republic, was it conducted by PDP? Was it not the military government that was transiting to civilian that conducted it? Was it not an election? So the election that brought him into office in 2015 was riddled with rigging. He's questioning the legitimacy, you are questioning the legitimacy of his own election with the statement that you have made. You know? And this is a kind of model, this is a kind of problem that this kind of thing, the instability of what is rational, confusing themselves and confusing the people in the, you know, it's I don't know what.
Okay, so let's go to some of the things said at your neck yesterday. Your presidential candidate is alleging that people have been trained in China, gadgets are being brought in to slow down card readers in his strongholds, which he identifies as the South-South, the Southeast, and the North Central. And is this not bogus claims aimed at hitting the polity further? I mean, do you have concrete evidence of this? And what is your party doing with it, other than announcing this on national television?
Well, you know, I don't know what you mean by bogus claim. It's only the security people, after due investigation, can determine whether we are making bogus claims or not. We are not in the business of making bogus claims. You look at the antecedents of the person making that statement or claim and determine for yourself whether he has a reputation for making bogus claims. Why would anybody want to make a bogus claim?
So how did you find out about this candidates? Again, because one of the allegations here, Mr. Osuntokun, is that your party is colliding with INEC. For instance, you got wind of the postponement days before even the president and other Nigerians heard about this postponement.
If you believe that, you believe anything. I worked in the presidency for several years. This is the first time I will hear a president playing the victim, the government in power playing the victim. The opposition is, look, it's beyond absurdity. What they are saying and what you are saying, you know. Look,
what is absurd in asking how did you find out about the postponement? Because we do know of your party officials who made claims about this postponement before it was made. The former governor of Ekiti State, for instance, Ayodele Fauci, posted it on his Twitter handle. Your national chairman, Uche Secondus, had made a claim about INEC being under pressure to postpone elections and they shouldn't succumb. And then yesterday, you raised the issue of card readers and gadgets being brought in to, you know, scuttle this election. So those are claims made by your party and party representatives.
Well, listen, I mean, you want me to reveal to you confidential sources of what? Listen, look, all this is, look, we don't put the burden of what the president has said openly and publicly. You don't put the burden on me or the PDP. And in any case, as I said, it's locked. If our presidential candidate makes an allegation, it's left to the security agencies to determine the veracity and act accordingly. I cannot find a wrongdoing or planning something. And no, listen, right? Anybody that has shown you that he's not acting in good faith, you will be naive and self-destructive to give that person the benefit of the doubt. Look, Nigerians have forgotten. This trend was set in motion by the Minister of Information about a month ago when he addressed the nation, accusing the PDP of wanting to cause crisis in 10 states in collusion with Boko Haram. This was what the Minister of Information of this country said, that from their intelligence sources. How does that sound to you? Saying he named the states and called a press conference, the Minister of Information of Nigeria, the PDP in collusion with Boko Haram and working towards an interim government. This was how they started this trend of what they are trying of this. See, when he made that statement that they have their credible sources of intelligence, the first thing that occurred to me, of course, that it explains why they have failed spectacularly in containing Boko Haram. If this is the stuff of the intelligence report that they get, have you heard anything about it since that statement was made? It was an elaborate press conference in which this Minister of Information was saying this was what the PDP was going to do in 10 states. Look, does he even pass the smell test? Where is the capacity of PDP to hold 10 states in Nigeria to ransom, killing people, causing havoc in collusion with Boko Haram? Look, that's when this is why I tell you that the absurdity of the kind of, if the Minister for Information of a government says that a month ago, I would be very foolish to take anything for anything those people say at face value or in good faith. I mean, deliberate falsehood. Not an elaborate, they concocted a fictitious, elaborate agenda. So we have a plan they are working to. I don't know what their grand scheme is. What I do know is that they have been running into a model. They are so incompetent that they are incompetent in telling lies or even organizing conspiracy, giving a theory of conspiracy. Okay, let's go back and listen and read that what this press statement by the Minister of Info and compare it with events that had happened since that time. You will see the conspicuous gap between fact and fiction, between myth and reality. Just go again. Please go and search for that statement made by the Minister of Information and compare it with what has happened. Then you know the kind of people you are dealing with.
Okay, still on security, let's take what is more concrete. Only yesterday, the president met with governors of some states that have been identified with high level of insecurity, namely Zamfara, Kaduna, Borno, Yobe, and invited the military top brass to that meeting. How they can heighten the presence of the military in those states, and the insecurity in those states are well documented, well reported. So what's your take on that?
Look, listen, right? This election was scheduled, I think, almost a year ago, if not a year ago, right? What do you expect a competent president to do? You work towards guaranteeing the security and stability of this period. It shouldn't caught you on it shouldn't have caught you unawares. That this is now there is this kind of bungling, this kind of staccato response, it doesn't speak well of this administration of the country. You've set the date, you know when this election was coming. And you are not, I find it, that you know that elections are quite sensitive periods and whatever it is. And you couldn't guarantee, you have such a long time to prepare for an adequate stability and security, and then they still find themselves in the situation we have now. This, and then, the thing is, you cannot, sow maize and reap cocoyam, right? In Kaduna State, right? Anybody who wants to approach the problem of security situation in Kaduna rationally will not do what the governor of Kaduna State did in consultation with the president. And that is speaking, the governor himself is a Muslim ticket. There's nobody against the background of the peculiarity of that place who should have done that. Look, they have the choice. It is not compulsory. The governor deliberately and spitefully saying that you didn't vote for me anyway. I don't need your vote. You should be happy that I'm doing. This is what the governor, so that you will not be in doubt as a kind of threat that they caused. This same governor came out 2 days to the original date of the election, saying 66 Fulanis were killed. The emphasis is on Fulani. But What is wrong with saying 66 Nigerians were killed? But because they have an ulterior motive, which is to incite people against one another. If I'm the governor of a state in which there are various ethnic groups, especially those who have been warring against one another, and I said as a governor, 66 Yorubas were killed. What does that? What are they trying? What are you trying to? You know, and then of course this president, I don't know. Look again, he has a background, he has a record. You know, that if you are working on that basis, you have no problem believing that what he meant. This is not the first time. It's not a goof. He has consistently for the past 2 decades. You go and see how the kind of incitement he has a record among all the presidential aspirants in this country for inciting violence. So it's what he said is consistent with his background as a propagator of violence. And it's a pity because when now, you know, it's even when you are not president, maybe, you know, or you are the chief security officer of the country. And beyond being presidential candidate of APC, you are still the president. I mean, a president, a responsible president should do is to de-escalate tension, not to radicalize the situation. How does a statement from a president saying that I've instructed the security agency to deal ruthlessly, you'll be doing something at the expense of your life, pouring kerosene on fire? A president who should have said, please, the security they should show restraint in dealing with the people, appeal to all Nigerians, please, this is not a fight, we are not in war. Whoever wins is still a Nigerian. That is what the president should say.
Okay, Chief Akin Osuntokun, please let's...
You've upgraded me to...
Okay, I thought you were calling you Bashon at the time.
You thought.
Anyway, let us look at the preparedness of your party for this election. Because yesterday when we heard your presidential candidate saying that the card readers will be, there are gadgets to manipulate card readers to walk slow in a stronghold. These they sound defeatists to me. And you made some demands, your party made some demands on INEC, because over time you did not seem to trust INEC. You made some demands on INEC. Are you satisfied with how INEC has addressed some of these issues over time?
Look, whatever. Look, we are responding to a situation that is very fluid and dynamic. You don't know what is going to happen with this government tomorrow morning. They can come up and tell you that we are barricading Lagos. So it's not something. Look, there's some predictability. It's one of the foundational instrument of civilization. Not irrational outbursts. You have to know when you are dealing with somebody, you never know what is going to what they are doing. So this is the kind of situation in which PDP has found itself. There's nothing defeatist in warning your own people, warning your supporters, and letting people know that this is what these people are trying to do. The contrary is the case, especially when you have the evidence to back it up, to say so. There's nothing from what you have seen. Is there any reason for PDP to feel defeatist? Ever since the president made the statement that he made, people, first and foremost, the postponement provoked people. Very people are very angry. Those who are sitting on the fence before made up their mind that this is the government that should go. And then the president reinforced that determination by threatening his own people with violence. So where is the reason to feel defeated? Look, on the contrary, a president or a party that is comfortable that thinks it can win the election, you don't behave the way these people are behaving. You want to normalize the situation, not precipitate violence and confusion. That is whoever is doing what they are doing is somebody who is nervous, who does not believe that he's going to win the election. If you are comfortable, you are confident that you are going to win the election, you want a peaceful atmosphere, you want things to be stable, not adding fuel to the fire, or trying to find a, imputing instability and violence into a system. If you are sure of something, why wouldn't I want it to be, So, on the contrary, it is the government and the president who are the ones, I mean, a government playing victim. Is it not absurd? All what they are accusing of, look, but again, I urge you again to go and look at what the Minister of Information said when they started this, that set this trend in motion. Go and listen to it.
Are you satisfied with the response that you've gotten from INEC regarding Activate Technologies Limited? If you recall, the PDP, on the day of the postponement, pointed out the fact that a member of the APC is involved in the company that manufactured the card readers.
God bless you for reminding me of that.
Amen.
So, yes. So, is that you are the one talking about bogus allegations?
Is
that the bogus one? Is that the bogus?
I was asking you about, because you don't make these allegations for a poll that is already
yes, exactly.
being discredited.
Yes, she had already supplied one of the missing links now. If your own senatorial candidate is a contractor supplying the card,
he has been working with INEC since 2011.
It is material. That is not material. If anybody listen,
and you won elections since he's been working with INEC.
No, that is not an excuse for. In any case, look, there is nothing. If was he contesting in those years? Was he contesting in 2011?
So have you gotten the response from INEC? Are you satisfied with it?
It was an open question that the chairman asked. It was a public event. He confirmed it. So that is the missing link for you if you need one.
And I also need to ask, PDP suggested that INEC should procure the services of either of two audit firms to ensure that the smart card readers have not been tampered with. Has INEC done this, to the best of your knowledge?
I wouldn't know. I don't know about that.
Which leads me to ask you at this point, do you trust that INEC can deliver a free, fair, and credible elections on Saturday?
Well, I hope so, but the background I have no basis to assume that they will do that. But it's also an opportunity for them to prove themselves. I mean, look, the thing is, look, this is the reason that you don't create an atmosphere of suspicion around yourself. We were arguing before, there was a lot of arguing. There was this controversy about the needs of the president being given to his Senate. The reason you tell or you recommend that the president or whatever should not do that is precisely because it gives room for suspicion. Where there should be accountability, if you put where you shouldn't, your vested interest if you are a party to an election, what you should do is that remove all areas of doubt that something can be imputed and look. And this president, is given to violating norms in this country. Since 1964, no president has appointed the chairman of the electoral agency from his own ethno-religious background. None. And it's not an accident. It's deliberate. To put distance, between you, and that is why they call them independent. So that you reflect that independence in spirit and in letter. This president is the first. As a matter of fact, within a week or thereabouts of becoming president, he appointed this lady as the acting chairman of INEC. And I'm sure he was going to confirm that appointment.
All right, Mr. Osuntokun, now let's come to this. Your political party and several political parties impressed upon INEC to lift the ban, or probably lift the ban so that parties could actually go out there and campaign. But rather than saying probably issue-based campaigns going out, it's more of mudslinging between the PDP and the APC. And we're seeing key hours and days being taken up by all this mudslinging that we're seeing back and forth, allegations, counter-allegations. What is PDP campaigning at all, or is this what we're going to see from now till the polls on Saturday?
Well, and you know who to hold responsible for that. You know.
No, for the PDP, what are the PDP's plans?
Listen, just wait. You don't expect, again, you are putting the burden on the victim. If the president of a country is inciting people to murder 5 days to election, that is the most important item for that period. So what you should then, what we do, well, I've been receiving things from people saying, is this what we are going to, what we are doing is now emboldening, boosting people's confidence that look, this is not going to happen. And that is one of what our presidential candidate said yesterday. That look, if the president gives you an unlawful order, you have the obligation not to carry it out. And it's an unlawful order to instruct your security people to shoot you, to legitimize, you know, whatever they do, to legitimize in advance the murder. You are asking yourself to be both the accuser, the judge, and the jury.
But the IG of police has actually cleared all this and has actually restored confidence back and told people to go out freely.
Listen. The IG of police is subordinate to the president. It's not the one. The IG of police cannot controvert what the president says. This president is the one who should come out and tell Nigerians that, look, this is not what I meant. This is not. I'm not. You know. So far, he has not said anything. Rather than that, they have said his spokesman has confirmed what he said, the death threat. So this is easily the most. You know, so it's not. You don't put the burden on. It has never happened before.
But the colloquialism, if I may, is that a hit dog will holler. The more PDP harps on this ballot box snatching matter, as Aaron has said, the security agents, the IGP has commented on it, the more PDP continues to insist on the wrongness of it, which has been established and accepted, the more it could appear in the public's perception that PDP did, in fact, plan to snatch ballot boxes.
Listen,
will you not lose credibility if you're majoring on the minor?
Let me tell you something, right? Don't let us speak in abstract terms, right? This government, since it has come to power in 2015, has supervised several elections. Were those elections, was ballot snatching, was it prevalent? And who did it? You see, this is all this we are speculating. You make a statement, you have to see consistency of logic in what you are saying. He's indicting INEC and himself by what he said. Otherwise, if you want us to believe that you have been conducting model elections since you came into office, what will just have changed is with the same people. So where did you infer? Where did you make the inference of this ballot snatching? And thereby, again, you look at the logic of it. It is the threat that is the objective. It's just using the excuse of ballot box snatching. What the message that is being passed across, what he wants you to get, to scare people away, is the threat. You might as well have said, if anybody are fighting. So ballot box snatching is just an excuse.
So you're inferring that PDP polling agents going about their lawful business are being threatened?
By the president, yes. Not only PDP, including you if you are going to vote.
So
do you want to be in an environment in which people are being shot?
Mr. Osuntokun, so what is the program of the PDP leading up to Saturday's election?
Well, what we have been doing, I mean, this is part of it, mobilizing Nigerians for support. I mean, telling them the reason, explain that, look, these people have shown you who they are. If you need any additional evidence why this president should not be elected, he has just provided it. In a situation where you have a surfeit of reasons not to do so, in every indices of development, this country has progressed under this president. It's a government that prides itself as fighting anti-corruption, whatever it is. All credible international rating agencies have scored this government worse than its predecessor. All, not one.
Okay, Mr. Osuntokun,
Secondly, is security that they're happy about. Before he came to office, it was localized to the northeast. Now it has spread to other places in the country. On the economy they're talking about, the what we have Nigeria, I'm sure you have has overtaken India in poverty, world poverty index. And of course, I'm not the one who made it an issue. It's himself, it's the situation of his health, which was on display on the campaign.
Let me
Any
ask
of those things starting by itself is enough to nullify this man's...
Mr. Osuntokun, your party has made allegations. You've talked about the missing link on Activate Technologies. You're not sure if INEC has made a response to that. You've also recently made the allegations just yesterday about the card readers to be slowed down in what you term your strongholds. It's just 2 days to the elections. If nothing is done about these allegations, what would the PDP be doing? Would you boycott these elections, or is this not grounds to discredit the elections and reject results?
No, not at all. I mean, what do you mean boycott the election?
It's just a question.
No. PDP will not.
So what would you do if these allegations are not?
It's not for me to determine that. It's the principle that does not happen. You don't. I can't anticipate. And in any case, it's not a decision for me to take. As things stand today, I can only speak to what the NEC has announced. On the basis of what did I say? So the question of boycott doesn't arise. As I said, I don't know, and I'm sure maybe, and I even expect you people also to be very angry at what is going on. Defining this election as a contest between APC and PDP, I think is Buhari versus Nigerians. Massive breakdown of law and order. It's not a partisan issue. It goes beyond that. This pre-election should be properly framed as Buhari, APC versus the rest of Nigeria, not PDP.
That's according to PDP.
That's according to me. That's what I'm saying. It has gone beyond partisanship of what it has. No, look, when your own chief security officer, becomes the #1 purveyor of insecurity, is that a PDP issue alone?
On that note, Mr. Osuntokun, Chief Osuntokun, I beg your pardon. Thank you very much. Basharu.
Like Basharu.
I thought you were denying the Basharu shot.
No, I wanted to confirm it to her, not you.
Thank you for that. That's all from Basharu Akin Osuntokun. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll be speaking with Vice Chairman, PDP South-South, Emmanuel Ogidi. Stay tuned.